Hey, folks. Looks like we're just about ready to start the Super Metroid 100% race. So strap in, it's going to be a fun time. Just a reminder, gotta get those save or kill donations in. I believe in y'all. I think we'll be good. We're at 7,300 right now. I have some donations already, but I can't read them until a little bit later, as they are requested to do so. So
There's no taunt the animals?
What's that?
There's no taunting the animals option? What's this?
No, just killer save. Maybe next time. Yeah, so oh wow, there's a little Metroid on somebody's stream. Anyway, gonna turn it over to Zosty and I'm sorry, I heard somebody else say your name. Oh, Overfiend. My bad. Cool. Turn it over to Zost and Overfiend, and good luck to all the runners and the commentators, and see you in a bit.
Thanks.
Rad.
Oh, if you want to introduce the race, I'll let you do the honors.
Alright, so I don't know exactly when we're starting, but this is 100% race SM, so getting all the items, beating the game, quote-unquote normally, all that fun stuff in a bit less than an hour and a half. Got our 4 racers here. We got Elminsterrta, Whitemagebecky, Sloaters, and Sephi.
Yeah, so this run, it's one of the most interesting things about it is you're going to see lots of cool room strats since we have all the items at our disposal. And the race is underway. I don't think we saw any serious moonfalls, did we?
No, unfortunately not.
So the first bit of the race is pretty standard. It's just pretty much any sort of Super Metroid race. It's just going through Seri Station. And pretty much almost all the way to Supers, it's going to be the same thing you're going to see in any other race, with a few minor exceptions like Spore Spawn RTA or something like that.
Yeah, like Zos was saying, like the first 6 or so minutes, it's basically the same throughout almost any Super Metroid category. Go through series, go down and get morph, get your missiles, come back up, get bombs, kill BT, and then head over to Brinstar. So not too much to explain there. It's just a bunch of variants and room strategies, but the path is still the same at the beginning.
Yeah, even with that though, the first few minutes of the game still can be pretty exciting. It's actually pretty difficult to play the first 5 minutes of the game really well. I mean, it's kind of a metric for Super Metroid players. What's your bombs time? Something like that. It's still not easy to play really cleanly through here. So, if good speedrunning excites you, there's lots to be had here still. Lots of ledge grabbing and lots of movement tech still going on.
Yeah, the 3 rooms right after the elevator when you come back up to get missiles are considered by most to be 3 of the hardest in a row in the game, if not like the 3 hardest in a row to have in the game. In terms of like cleanly executing each back to back to back.
Yeah, it gets pretty hectic at that point. You get kind of breaks in between execution before then, but that kind of stretch right before bombs is taxing if you're not really practiced in it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we got a moonfall out of Sephi. That's good to know.
So this tech, this is some of the newer, like more apparent tech in SM is with Moonwalk you can do this strategy where you uncap your vertical falling speed. It was found about a year ago.
Yeah, it was found early June 2017, right before the GQ race.
So I haven't really kept up with a lot of 100% strats. I'm looking forward to seeing some moonfalls from Sephi and see what where you can put that to use. You can't put it to use as much as you would think. It's sort of like shine sparking. The setup and the cooldown, all that sort of stuff that comes with it. It looks like you're going really fast. Sometimes it's just not worth it if you're not falling very far.
Yeah, you have to fall a certain distance. Basically, you have to fall a certain distance before moonfalling would have use.
All right, so last one to bomb trees is a rotten egg. Who's going to be the rotten egg here? So this is the part we're talking about that's very difficult. This climb, this long climb, and the section before it with the all the pirates in it.
Somebody in chat said rotten pear, and they may be right about that.
So Sephi, a little bit of advantage on that moonfall. It saves 4 or 5 seconds. I don't see if you did the parlor one, but 4 seconds on the climb room alone. It's hard to lose the race to bombs with that.
Yeah, about a 450 flat. It looked like.
I have some donations here if you're ready for those.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Sweet. I have $100 each from both Poppy and Freyas, who say this is $100 towards Antinomy keeping Spazer equipped for the whole run. They both say that. And then we have $5 from Alley Cat, who says the Trevor Project literally saves lives, so here's to the runners saving the animals. Thanks, y'all, for those rad donations. Very generous.
Being stuck with spacers, that's a pretty harsh punishment. I don't know about that. I'm not a big fan of spacers, so.
But Poppy and Freya's will it, so.
Hey, can't argue with that. So I mean, I'm personally interested to see if anybody does power bombs first here. I haven't really kept up with how these runners route 100%, but there's some options you have. I guess they have 2 major divergent options that we're liable to see, right? Is that correct? Am I?
Yeah, whether you get power bombs early or not for that crane missile, and whether you get grapple early or not.
Right. So if you get grapple early, it's a little bit safer, but it is a slower route. It's not. It's really sort of a minor thing, so I don't know if these runners. I don't know. It only saves maybe 15 seconds. That's counting X-ray spark, which is a very difficult tech involved with that route. So there's not all that much benefit to going for that, especially in a race setting. But maybe one of these runners is used to doing it. So
yeah, it's best to just do what you're used to. But
sure.
Yeah, I agree. There's not too much difference, and the main difference with the getting grapple later is that when you come by to grab it after Crocomire is destroyed by plasma, Whereas like when you fight him early, you have to deal with the RNG between like whether he fireballs or not. You don't have to deal with any of that if you come by later. So that's like where the main time save with that route comes from. But yeah, like Zo said, we'll see if any runners opt to do that route. Nice job by Becky and Elm getting the mock ball back out from reserve tank. That's considered one of the best in the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Especially out of like the standard mock balls out of the major categories, you have to react so quickly to the door, like to gaining movement of Samus again. There's just not much time to react.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of know where you're at in the doorway and how to react to it.
So it looks like we got Sloaters and Sephi quite close to each other, with Elminsterrta not too far behind, also pretty close to each other.
And nobody skipped the charge beam.
Nope.
I mean, it's sort of a theoretical route. It's possible that you could skip the charge beam.
Yeah.
It's so weird to do that, though. I've tried that. Like, there used to be an RBL route where you skip charge beam. I tried. I just couldn't stand not having charge. It was so weird. Like, this is more than it's worth. You know, like, at some point that was a good route, but like, I was just like, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
The little bit of time you save from that.
All right. Well, it looks like everybody is saving those power bombs for later, and we'll see if anybody saves grapple for later or not in about, I think about 7 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's very minor. The difference between early power bombs and not is super close. Like, it's very close to the same sort of time difference.
Yeah, it pretty much just comes down to like which strats do you execute better overall between the routes.
Yeah,
and that's the one you do.
I think optimally now, though, I think that Moonfall edged out, or gave a little bit of an edge to early power bombs.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
We're talking like 30 frames or a second or something like that. So
yeah.
All right, Craig coming up. We usually don't see Craig for very long. Of course, the Craig quick kill. Craig doesn't even get a chance to raise up out of the bed of spikes. Just halfway. Uh-oh. Still saved this now.
He can't.
Nice save. Oh, he didn't save it.
No, he only had 2 supers. I thought he might be able to save it with some regular missiles too, but he just didn't go for it. But yeah, that's what the fight is supposed to look like on Sloater's screen. Which that puts Sephi in the lead now, I believe, by a little bit.
Yeah, it tightened up the race a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
This is still absolutely anybody's race. I mean, we still have lots of RNG alone, plus there's tons of execution at 100%. 100% really, although one of the safest as far as dying or something like that, it's one of the hardest categories to play optimally. Just because you have everything at your disposal, you're just going so fast. There's all these crazy spring ball strats and all this stuff. So really, it's considered one of the among top speedrunners one of the most difficult categories to play well for Super Metroid.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think just the amount of time and like effort you have to put into making sure like every strat and every boss stays in like top shape with a category this long I personally actually find it a bit more difficult for me than low percent categories, and most people I talk to that are like around my level, so to speak, also just, to put it simply, don't really find 100% fun because of how taxing it is. Like at that level, like it's just so taxing.
I mean, Super Metroid is already taxing as it is, from a standpoint of just staying so focused and being able to keep your movement at a really keep all the errors out of your movement. It's very taxing mentally to just focus on everything.
Can I hop in here for a second?
Sure.
So I just want to state that from looking at the runners just like chatting to each other a couple times, I think there's been an alliance formed where Sephi, Sloaters, and Becky are all going to use Phaser.
Oh. Well, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. When you drop a beam, it makes it some things just not work. So we'll see. That'll be fun to watch.
I wonder if they have anything planned out as far as like in that case, the best thing I think would be to really hold on to your super missiles, or get a bunch, make more use of them, that sort of thing, so that you don't have to be using Spacer as much.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if any of them have thought about that, thought that far ahead.
Yeah, the biggest impact will be against, I believe, Ridley and Mother Brain for that keeping Spacer on, because you're doing a third of the damage you would do if you had Plasma on Spacer.
But at least Freyas and Poppy have so far gotten what they donated for.
Right.
Yeah, I guess we'll see if Elm can capitalize on that.
Oh, having a little trouble here in Bubble Mountain. Of course, Bubble Mountain's one of the many sequence breaks in the game. The developers, they left this open. They had to have known this was possible, but this is a definite sequence break in the game. Not one of the biggest ones, but it is one.
Mm-hmm. So here's a minor point of RNG after Speed Booster is wanting to get as many supers as you can in, quickly from this well of bugs, because you're going to be going through a lot of red doors right afterward. But assuming they all do Croc early, then it's not that important, because you'll be getting drops from Croc, and after Croc there's another well of bugs that you can farm up before you head over to Wreck Ship.
Yeah, it's not quite as bad as something like 80% for those bugs. Yeah, Croc will be the next point of RNG, though. Croc actually has its own RNG if you do it first. That's what he was talking about earlier. You'd be looking for swipes. Swipes is what you don't want to see against Croc, and the more swipes, the more time you're losing. So that's something you eliminate completely if you delay your visit to Crocomire.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to do the deboost to the door on the way there, though? Elverfiend, where do you think Crocomire poops? Just in the lava or something?
I mean, presumably the acid would just disintegrate it, so that's... And it is like, he is getting pushed back that way, so presumably he just steps back that way. So we got all our racers in the same room right now. All
Yeah,
playing the same mini boss.
I just got a $10 donation from Addie going towards saving the animals. Seems like we have a pretty big majority here. I wonder if
For save.
Gil is gonna... Yeah, for save. I wonder if Gil's gonna come back.
Alright, so what you just saw Elminsterrta do right there is what we refer to as a wraparound shot. I guess the basic explanation is that, or close to basic, is that there's a copy of the door on the left side to the right side of that wall in the out of bounds. And if you charge shot it from the right position, you'll actually hit that copy door, and hitting that copy door also opens the original door on the left side. So you should see the door on the left side be open right now, even though they didn't interact directly with it. They interacted with the copy on the out of bounds. So yeah, Elm just sparked through that open door, and Becky should too. Yep. And that's basically how that works.
Yeah, there's a very simple setup for that with these items they have, these beams they have. You just charge a beam, shoot up and diagonal at the edge of the lava. It's really easy.
Yeah.
There's some other wraparound shots. The one for Gauntlet is a little bit more difficult to be able to line up. You have to know sort of a harder sort of visual cue to do that.
Alright, so now all of our racers have grapple. Grapple's a pretty cool item. Definitely has its uses because it has pretty cool mechanics. Like, for example, it's the only item that does not have a weapon cooldown. So that basically means that you can fire off a weapon and then immediately grapple after, because it's not affected by weapon cooldown. As you can see on Sloater's screen there, it can also pick up items that it goes through. So you'll definitely see that more throughout the run. It's just a very useful item if you can incorporate it properly.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about the newest route, the most optimal route. You lose a lot of cool grapple strats. You can also deboost with the grapple beam if you grapple a spark or something like that. If you watch a task that gets grapple, you'll see it open a lot of doors with grapple, because technically that's the fastest way sometimes. So it actually has it's actually a pretty powerful meme. More powerful than a lot of people give it credit for at first.
Yeah, like Zos was saying, if you grapple onto like an electrical source, it will damage Samus and lets you deboost off of that damage. So you might see a racer or some racers try that in Wreck Ship, because there's these like broken electrical generators when the power's back on. Yeah, we'll have to see if any of them go for that.
Yeah, the only one I used to go for was the one coming out of the E-Tank room.
Yeah.
I didn't try any crazy attic grapple boost.
Interesting super by Elm there, going right through the gate, opening the door. There's some funny things about this game when it comes to like the acceleration per frame of certain things, allowing certain things to pass through things that should be solid.
Sloaters had a sexy red tower. That's an old school any percent strat right there.
It looks like Sloaters has basically made up the time he lost from missing Crate Quick Kill now. We got him and Sephi in the same room, and Becky and Elm in the same room too. Becky and Elm have been like right next to each other seemingly the entire race.
Right, yeah. Nice. I love that spark strat and the big hopper room coming out of Red Tower. Yeah, they shine spark the hoppers. It looks weird movement wise, but really you save a bunch of lag by doing that. If you just let the power bomb explode without killing the hoppers first, there's a lot more lag. So by shine sparking them, it's a little awkward movement, but it just saves so much lag, so many lag frames that it's worth doing.
Yeah.
It's pretty consistent too, once you get the hang of it.
If you leave the hoppers up, it causes like a full second of lag, whereas if you spark them, you only get like 20 frames or something like that.
Oh, Sloater's missing the grapple over the moat.
Ooh.
So grapple's actually the optimal way across the moat with these atoms. I don't know if it's much faster than shine sparking the whole way, but I think it's about the same, but you have more energy, so it's better. That's basically it.
I think it actually is like a slightly faster, I want to say, but yeah, like the health save is definitely the more noticeable thing.
Right. This is going to be this area where we're coming into the wreck ship. This is the most dangerous part of 100%. So if you're going to see anybody die, it's going to be here. More than likely, it's going to be here, unless somebody makes a really dumb mistake later. There's maybe a chance of soft locking later, but we'll see.
Yeah, as far as outright dying is concerned, like once they make it out of here and get the gauntlet E-tank, there's no foreseeable way or like logical reason that they should outright die anymore. But yeah, right. This section in particular, it's definitely the most likely.
Now with this route they've taken, with the early grapple route, they do have an extra E-tank compared to if you delay that, so that is nice. It's not a whole lot, but it is a little bit. It's like having a sanctuary heart, like a little bit extra. It makes a bigger difference than you think sometimes.
I think Sloaters might have gotten a fast mid.
All right, everybody in chat, pick a number 1 through 10. If we see a fast, then whoever guesses right gets mod and Oats and Goats channel. If we get slow, then whoever guesses right gets banned in Oats and Goats channel. Have we seen any X Factor strats, or are they just doing Doppler? Everybody's just doing Dopplers?
It's just been Doppler so far. Becky's
Man, what happened to X Factor? X Factor used to be all the rage.
It's only on those Trade First Any % streams, nowhere else. Yeah, Becky said slow fast, and this will be a slow. Sloaters had, I think, fast mid. Maybe it was slow afterward. I think Steffi might have gotten a couple mids. We'll see how Elm fares as far as RNG goes. Becky missing that super big build out by fast pattern, that's always a nice feeling.
Yeah, if you get a fast, if you get an extra round and it's a fast, it really doesn't lose much time. But you don't really want to necessarily be at Fantoon's mercy for that. Fantoon is not considered to be very nice. I don't know if you've heard about Fantoon, it's usually not good.
So Elm, that was intentional by Elm to super like that.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I would assume he just mispressed select at a weird time.
So that pattern is why we don't super Fantoon early, because Fantoon just goes into this invincible state where it just does this little sprinkler of waves or of flames on you for like 15 seconds, and you can't do anything.
Yeah, if you super him and the super doesn't kill him, that's what happens, and it's a nice automatic 18-second loss.
Oh, 18 seconds.
Yeah, roughly.
So, Steffi's got the E-Tank. Going to the E-Tank is one of the dicier parts here. Usually this water and spikes. What do you call this room? The watery, spiky room of death. What is it? Do you know what
the
it
wiki
is?
is just called Spiky Death Room.
Spiky Death Room?
Aptly named, of course.
Yeah, that's named that way for a reason, and the biggest reason would be 100% runs. It's where most of them will die. More than any other room, that's where you'd see them die. Like a literal death.
Mm-hmm. Not a figurative, time-related death.
Yes. There's plenty of those, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is. And 100%, there's a lot of figurative, your run is just outright dead if it happens.
Yeah.
So, 100% gets this rap where it's like, it's safe, consistent run. And that's the feeling I get from people but there's a lot of places where the run can die pretty badly.
Yeah, it's like safe, consistent, but you never PB.
Yeah.
It's a price to pay. So these work robots are considered by almost everybody to be like the most annoying enemy or entity in the game. You can like abuse invulnerability to get past them, as long as like the treadmill and the robot is cooperating with you too. But you can easily lose like a bunch of seconds depending on like where the robot gets moving or pushes itself back.
Right. It can shoot those little ring beams at you, and it'll reel back as it shoots, and then you can't get around it if it does that. So you can minimize the chance of that happening, but they can make life difficult for sure.
Yeah.
It looks like we're all going to survive, though.
Yeah.
So after you get the E-Tank, it's not quite so difficult to survive. It's mainly about conserving health because we're headed towards, presumably, the Gauntlet. It's quicker to route the area above the ship that you start this planet on before you get to the end of the game. You can also wait until right before the end of the game to do it, but it's quicker to do it now after wreck ship, just to move through the rooms in a more efficient manner. But you need to do a very long shine spark, so conserving energy for the end of the wreck ship here all the way to that shine spark is pretty critical for this run.
Yeah, it's not really that hard when you have the 50 tank. It's pretty much just like don't have a catastrophe in Spiky Death Room, or I guess like attic or something. You should be okay.
Right. Yeah, when the other route was considered, the first times it was considered, that was definitely a problem with it that people had. But strats improve, people improve.
Mm-hmm.
It's you still have to conserve your health with this many tanks, but it's definitely more lenient for sure.
Yeah, even without taking the reserve tank into consideration, as long as you have about 300 health leaving wreck ship, you should be okay to get to the Gauntlet tank.
Yeah, I think the Gauntlet tank costs like 220 or 230. You need to have 220 or 230 or something like that, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly. Of course, if you're a little short, you can always powerbomb the last few blocks out of your way. It's not optimal, but that's okay to do if you need to, especially in a race.
Yeah. Only thing you got to make sure is not
Don't get grabbed.
Yeah, not getting pulled acid.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, I have died there before in a run, so there's certainly other places things can go wrong. Oh, Elm is grappling through bullying. Guess his health is low enough to where he wants to just save the energy.
Yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense because if you take 2 hits, you're at 326, and if you don't jump before the spark, or if you're not like familiar with it, I guess, then that'll put you below 300. So
Yeah, we might be seeing some dips into reserve here too. Which dipping into your reserve here is not too bad because you can go ahead and take wave beam or phaser off.
Right, Sephi is right at like the border for the spark.
Right. I don't think Sephi's good, or I don't think Sloaters is going to make it all the way either.
Sephi should. 102 entering gauntlet.
Yeah, 100 entering ring should be good. Yeah.
Is he going for? Is he?
Is he going for... Oh my God, that was really close. So you can do a shine spark in the back side of the gauntlet here, on the left side of the E-tank, but it's super hard to get the right short charge. You have to get a pretty precise short charge, and the the problem is your distance has to be metered in such a very precise way to where activating the shine spark breaks the block under you, but you don't fall into it in the same token. Like, it has to be just far enough to the left to break it, far enough to the right to break it, far enough to the left not to get into the pit.
Yeah,
that was really close. All that needed to be done at that point was just to well, I don't know, like, what was the problem? I didn't quite see. They got the shine spark charge, right? Did they break the block?
Yeah, that's what amazed me, was that they actually got the block break and touched the thing with the charge. Yeah, his streams is stuttering a little bit for me, so I didn't see.
Yeah.
Also, I think Becky must have missed the wraparound or something, because they just spent like a minute getting through to the tank.
Yeah, bonking that door is very painful. But you should be able to hear it open. This is the thing with the wraparound shot. You can hear the door open.
Yeah, I don't know if they are not listening to audio or maybe they're talking.
It could be that. It could be the case, yeah. Yeah, it's so much quicker to shine spark through that room than to power bomb, though. Later in the game, when you have screw attack, it's pretty quick to just screw through them, but that luxury right now. Nice mushroom jump from Becky.
I gotta refresh some of my streams, I think. Alright, so we got Sephi getting those critter power bombs, cleared out the bottom of Green Brinstar.
Yeah, at this point we're going to sort of an item collection phase. There's a lot of cool movement through these areas, though. I really like the green. I think it's very fun to play through green and pink Brinstar in 100%. There's some cool strategies.
Yeah, I think I'd call it my favorite area. It's kind of, I've called it this before, it's like the calm before the storm.
Yeah, yeah.
Pink cleanup's the calm, and then Meridia's just the storm.
Meridia is always a storm.
Yeah.
Seems like a high variance area to me. Of course, most of the storm in 100% is like the beginning of Meridia, I guess. I mean, you still have to do some collection Meridia before the storm really gets going, and then there's a lot of collection afterwards. But
yeah,
I'm assuming you're referring to the Batu to Dragon Gauntlet.
Yeah, Botchwoon, Full Halfy, Dragon, and then Ice Clip pretty soon after.
Ice Clip,
not with this route, but
not with this route, but yeah, still.
So Elm chose to open the G4 door with the super there. It's an extremely minor thing, but it just means one less super he'll be having to spend when he comes back through there. Some people do it, some people don't. Doesn't really matter either way. Just a little minor playstyle choice. See if Sloaters gets this.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Mission Impossible. Nice. So
got it.
The way it works is like when you land after getting the power bombs. Like when you grab the power bombs in that pose, you can hold jump and the opposite direction, I believe, and that buffers a spin jump after the fanfare from the ground. So like all you have to do is hold jump and right on the D-pad during that point, and you'll automatically spin jump, and that's just a matter of timing the wall jump so that you get out.
Damn, that's
the only thing.
That's a genius setup.
Yeah. Wonder who came up with it. I actually don't know. Did you come up with it?
Yeah, I'm being
nice.
an idiot.
I know. It's
a task strat, but yeah, they did it differently, I think. How we did the setup.
Speaking of task-like stuff, there's the way they get to the super pack. You are supposed to fight a mini boss known as Spore Spawn, which very few have seen in person. But if you are standing at the right pixel position when firing the super, it'll hit the super block and let you in. Like you're not supposed to be able to do that, but there's certain pixel positionings where you can stand and have that super like accelerate a certain way towards the block, in which like it will be at the block for a frame and connect with it.
Yeah, so we still have a pretty tight race going on here. Probably only 30 seconds, 45 seconds at most between first and last place right now. Meridian can change a lot of things. There's still a lot of run left. I can see some changes and leads here.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't paying enough attention to see what exactly put Becky right behind Sloaters, or like what made Sloaters so far behind.
All behind. Yeah, I can't say I saw either.
Like maybe something Gauntlet related, and I wasn't paying attention, but I don't really know what.
It's definitely a possibility. I was like, where's Becky going? A new route.
Gonna take the other entrance into Meridia. Start with Rainbow first. See, on Sloater's screen, we got this
nice charge.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what the minimum. I think it requires at least a 3-tap. Like I think you can like 3-tap it without a stutter if your taps are just insane. But
yeah, that'd be harder than just learning how to 4-tap or something.
Yeah, most people probably do like a stutter 3 or something. But either way, it's like.
Yeah, I bet that's the most common.
And for those unfamiliar what we're talking about, there's a certain frame of Samus's run animation where the game, it's the only frame where the game actually checks to see if you're running or not, as far as incrementing the speed booster counter. So basically what that means is you can like release the run button and only have it active during those frames and get blue which is how you charge a Shine Spark in very short distance with like light and accurate taps on those frames. So you have to do that there. Like optimally, that's what you have to do there to get that missile in the first room of Meridia. Because otherwise, you have to do like I think Becky did, which is use the ground, the longer ground before the door, and jump over instead.
Yeah, it's kind of a puzzle that you can sort of sequence break that puzzle by being able to do a short charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see some more short charging later, though. We'll try to point that out. There'll definitely be plenty of that. Especially 100%. 100%'s got a lot of short charging. It's very helpful to be able to short charge well in 100%.
Yeah, you'll see it from everybody at Dragon. I saw it right there, too, from Sloaters. There's a neat little... you could, like, read the RNG of that spiny enemy. It's called an Ouch. It's aptly named. You can short charge in order to gain blue and kill it so that it doesn't knock you back and cause you to lose all your speed.
I like Whitemagebecky just going for the pseudo screw down to those two items.
Yeah.
To clear the pancake out of the way. Sloater's showing no love for the crabs and supering one of them.
We'll see if any of the three Spazer squad members can actually get a botch in one round without the X Factor.
Yeah, you can definitely get a one round with these, with this much ammo. You can either do, you could do 6 plus 8, or you could do 3 plus 9, or just 0, 10, as far as missiles and super missiles.
Yeah.
You could do open up with a charge shot, but no, that wouldn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, if they had ice, it would be an option.
Sloater's got the one round.
Nice. Yeah, that is the easiest of the 4 patterns, one round, but still a one round. So nice job. And Becky getting that pattern is basically impossible to one round, like RTA, like nobody.
Well, without X Factor, yeah.
It's like he's not only is he not on screen for as long, but he's also really inconveniently twisting his body to avoid damage.
Alright, well, everybody's familiar with the grapple kill, or most people are, but we won't be seeing the grapple kill even though we have a grapple. It's not the fastest way to kill a Dragon. Still faster to Shine Spark Dragon. The Dragon, interesting fight. It's the only boss that's really... most bosses are immune to Shine Sparking. You just Shine Spark into them and nothing happens, or you just bounce off of them. But for some reason, Dragon does take damage, and a lot of it, from Shine Spark.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like not only does Dragon take damage, for some reason she takes only half damage, but even with only taking half damage, Shine Spark is still by far like the most damaging thing you can do to her in these categories, besides grapple, and grapple's, slow. So I'll definitely try to go for a thing called Spike Suit, but just end up losing his blue.
Yeah. It's a little risky in this category, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Sloaters is going to go for it too because he
lost it.
Well, he didn't get blue, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay. That's bad.
But yeah, it's not that big of a deal because they have space jump. It's only like 5 seconds from not having a spark.
That's true. Yeah. I just want to put this out here. right now. If you shine spark back through this room, from right to left, it's not called the reversed full halfie. It's called the Womple Spark. Just want to take this time to clarify that. Thanks.
PSA from
just a PSA from me to you.
So now with Dragon out of the way for most of our racers, they're going to see them collect a bunch of items under the sand. Since they don't have to worry about an ice clip, it's pretty low stress area, just a lot of just movement, really just focusing on your movement, not really worried about anything else. There's a lot of cool strats along the way, like this D-boost and short charge. The Becky almost got...
Are they doing the double D, or the D-boost to the pit, the sand pit?
Before Aqueduct?
Yeah, before you go for Aqueduct.
Yeah, they were trying.
Nice.
See, where Seppi is right now...
Oh, Elm's showing us the grapple kill.
Oh. Alright. And Dragon's showing us her swooping ability. See, grapple from the point it, like, assuming Dragon's at full, from like the point it connects to the point Dragon dies, it's only like 8 seconds. But the problem is the setup, like the length of time it takes to set up for it, and then the 8 seconds on top of that. Plus, depending on category, like the health loss, like for this category doesn't matter, but like that too, it's just not the better kill to do compared to Shine Sparking, but cool of Elm to show it off there, show what it looks like. And so this room on Whitemage screen, like with this route you don't, how do I explain this? Like here you can just grapple the block and it eventually destroys itself from it's like a destructible grapple block.
The grapple blocks that look crumbly, they will just disappear after you grapple them after a set period of time.
Yeah, you can get through to Shack's Hole without grapple by doing what we've been referring to as ice clip, which is basically where you like freeze one of these eels in a certain position below the floor and then clip through the floor.
It's like I think it's a pixel perfect position you have to freeze it on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you have... It's a very small window to hit the eel at the perfect position. But we got setups for it now. Like, but, you know, back in my day, we didn't have setups for that ice clip. Now there's like 2 setups. I found a setup at one point, then who found the one beam, or I think Ed originally worked on that, a screen wrap setup, right? Where the camera gets off.
Yeah, Eternalize definitely came up with some stuff for that.
Yeah, that one's more consistent, but it is slower. If you just wing it, it's so like hard to get. But we abuse some things with the game to make it consistent. Yeah. I will say one of my favorite things about Shack Tool is that I was watching a Cot stream where Cot was on PB pace coming into Shack Tool's room and was fumbled around and didn't get the power bomb off. So Shack Tool has a circle around the room again and he lost his PB pace. It's pretty hilarious.
So we're seeing some pretty creative ways to kill these plasma pirates because our racers not choosing not to use plasma, we got Sloaters killing them with these Shine Spark echoes. So for those unfamiliar, when you Shine Spark, it produces these 2 echoes out of Samus in opposite directions.
Other thing, is that a glitch?
I mean, it does so much damage you think it is, but it's like, yeah, like basically each echoes deals over 4,000 damage a frame. So pretty much anything that's affected by the echoes dies immediately upon contact. I think we also see Whitemagebecky pseudo screwing these pirates.
Wow, pseudo screw.
Yeah.
You have to do that twice, don't you, to kill them?
Yeah.
At least. That's not a bad strategy either, though. It takes a long time to shut up a Shine Spark to kill them. But yeah, the pirates, they only take damage from Shine Sparks, Plasma Beam, or Screw Attack, as far as I'm aware.
The wall
only ways you can kill
ones take power bomb damage.
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's true.
Which that's like an even more complicated thing. How that works, like damaging things off the screen with power bombs is an even more complicated thing. But
oh god, I don't even know. I don't know how the Metroids get, the low percent speed Metroids. I don't understand that. I'm just gonna throw that out there. You don't have to explain it now, but I'll just throw it out there. I don't know how in the world that works.
The gist of it is, if the power bomb is like touching a Rinka off screen, then for some reason that damages the entire room, not just
nice.
And I think it has to do with like
that's cool.
Certain room properties or enemy properties. I don't know. Like I don't know exactly why, but
like
it's cool.
The way it stores values or something like that, maybe. Like
yeah, it's cool that it works, but I can't really tell you exactly why. So a basic understanding. So yeah, Elm is also deciding to pseudo these pirates. Oh, now he's gonna spark. Probably is better to spark those upper ones.
Who's gonna get the spring ball? I didn't see if anybody got it. Spring ball between these 2 items in the sand pit. Hardest strat 100%.
With the backup bomb that sometimes.
Oh, dude, the backup bomb is amazing. Dude, they're not even doing the backup. What? Come on. Let's see if they do the spring ball to Kraid's lair. No. He's probably going for it. It's a tough one, though.
Are you noticing what I'm noticing and what Chad is noticing?
No, I'm not yet.
I think Elm got into any percent mode for a bit and took the toilet. He went down and up the toilet.
Do what now? You're supposed to go down and then up the toilet, right?
No. You're never supposed to go back down the toilet.
Not down the toilet.
Yeah, but he did.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, so after plasma, he went down the toilet. Is that what happened? Yeah. Elm, you know too many stuff. You know too many categories. You know too many ROM hacks. I'm too confused at this point. No, just kidding. Elm does know an impressive amount of like ROM hacks and stuff that Elm speedrun. Unless I'm getting confused with somebody else.
No, I think that I don't know SRC names, but if that's an SRC name, then I would assume. Right, so as we were kind of mentioning earlier, you see these racers grab this missile from Kraid's lair. An option with 100% is to grab the red tower power bombs before Kraid's lair, so that you can grab it on the first visit. It's basically like whichever one you execute better as far as room strats go is the one you should do, because the difference between grabbing them early and not is like that close to where it literally is just like, which one do you execute better? Okay, then do that one. So we didn't see anybody grab them early, but if you did, then you wouldn't see them visiting Kraid's lair right now, you would have already like seen like the missile grabbed on the first visit, and they would just be going to Lower Norfair instead. Thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, you lose time going to get the power bombs early, but you gain all that time back by not having to revisit Kraid's lair to get that missile that's trapped in power bomb blocks.
Yeah, I don't like Zost. I know you tried that route for a bit, but your PB is not with that route. My PB is with that route though, but I think like.
Well, I never reverted out of that route. I just never got a PB with the early power bombs route, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I was on pace a couple of times, but no, I never dropped early power bombs route. I always liked that route.
Okay.
I think I just got the PB like right before I switched routes, and then I didn't play 100% long enough to sort of get that extra time save.
Yeah, I know how.
I won the GDQ race with that route though.
Yeah, you did.
There's that.
I was there.
Good route confirmed, dude.
Yeah.
I was crowned the world champion, even though I didn't have the world record.
It's unfortunate nobody really remembers that race for that, but it's true. You were crowned.
Yeah, nobody remembers that race with anything except for the bus incident, which is, yeah, it is what it is. That's why me and CFB hate each other to this day.
Especially with that rando rivalry.
Yeah, especially with him beating me at rando.
Guy's just a big bully. Did you hear he bullied everybody out of racing him at NASA?
I think I heard just a little bit about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be yet another solo CFB run at a live marathon. I wonder how that keeps happening. Oh man.
Oh, that slows down GT a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't really make it any more scary. Just
right, you're just stuck there for a long time. So with Plasma Beam against Golden Treviso, they'll do, like I said earlier, 3 times the damage they are doing now. Plus, Plasma Beam goes through enemies, and if you crouch and shoot up, and GT is standing and not jumping, then you'll hit twice because it keeps going. But it's the hitbox for GT is high enough, it's tall enough to where that beam will hit twice. So they're sort of doing 1/6 of the damage that they would with Plasma in this case.
all right, so I'll try to explain what Sephi's doing, or at least what I think he's doing. So I think he wanted to use supers instead of damage, but he needs to get them back. But the thing about getting them back is Golden Treviso has this quirk where if you're at 32 missiles or more, he will have a chance to do this like the sonic
booms.
Yeah, sonic booms. Sonic booms. But if you go below that missiles, then he won't ever do it. He'll just spit eggs. So you can like farm eggs forever as long as you don't go back above that missile count. Which is why he like dumped so many missiles, and during that fight was to like make it so that Golden Treviso could only spit eggs and farm some supers back.
Yeah, it almost would have been wise to farm supers there for Ridley. I don't know, maybe they're planning on doing that somewhere else. Maybe they're not planning on doing it at all. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we will definitely.
It's hard to say whether that'd be worth the time to do. I'm not sure if it'd be worth the time to do or not.
Yeah, usually in cases like that, it's just better to just go,
Just go.
But
yeah.
we will definitely see how that pans out later, because
We're not used to the scenario though, where you're forced to use Phaser.
Yeah, 2 supers at this point is
because in any percent, you only have Spazer, you only have these beams, and you absolutely want to have as many supers as possible. But
right,
whether it's worth stopping dead in your tracks and not, there's a difference between along your way trying to collect supers and stopping dead to farm. So
Hey, I was just wondering if I could cut in with a donation.
Go for it. Yeah.
I have $50 from Tracy M. No comment on that one, but it goes towards saving the animals. So, I mean, it's a pretty huge lead at this point. If you have any last minute kill the animals donations, you should get them in soon. We've been going at this for about an hour. And otherwise, yeah, definitely keep the donations coming. Got a lot of sweet prizes that you can potentially win, like ones that you literally will not be able to get anywhere else. So definitely check that out. But yeah, back to the race. This is rad, and thanks for giving the commentary. It's really helping understand stuff.
No problem.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Got about 20 minutes more of it.
All right, sweet. Well, I'm buckled in. Let's go.
All right. So we've seen a few things a bit different so far from the lack of plasma, like Sephi sparking 2 of the Keanu pirates to reduce powerbomb lag, even though he has screw attack. So I guess it was just for show a bit, but still kind of cool thing to show off there. And then yeah, Becky shines working these pirates too. You can kill them with supers, and it is faster, but you got to think about how, like, in Becky's case, they only have like 12 supers at this point, so it's a bit risky to like use this limited amount of supers killing pirates, even though they give you some back. Like, my comment on it would be that like Ridley, this boss, he takes double damage from supers, so it makes the most sense to use supers on Ridley if you're going to use it anywhere, because they just save the most time on paper on this boss.
Yeah, I mean, it should be something like 1.5 seconds per super that you should save compared to charged Ice Wave Spazer. Because Ice Wave Spazer... Go ahead.
I would say it's probably closer to 2.5, because you got to consider...
2.5?
Well, you got to consider that, like, each charge shot is, let's say on average, like 67 frames compared to like the 20 frames of the super.
Yeah.
And then you consider that the charge shots are also probably causing like frames more of lag, and are also, I mean, it depends on how you quantify this, but also they're also a bit more missable than one super is.
Mm-hmm.
So when you factor that all together, in my opinion, it's like a bit more than 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's my reasoning.
Yeah, so they're pretty precious against Ridley.
Yeah, it's pretty dicey that the 3 Spazer squad members all have quite low super counts.
Yeah. Seem to be seeing some pretty clean Ridley fights, though.
Yeah, screw attack has definitely been helping out quite a bit. Screw, like, you can still get hit out of screw attack by Ridley's tail, but you can go straight through Ridley's body with screw attack.
Yeah, and the body does more damage than, well, I guess it does in this, but...
Oh, did everybody, I've been saying 3 because I thought that Elm or somebody was not gonna be using Spazer too, but I guess everybody's using Spazer.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, my mistake on that. I thought there was somebody not using Spazer, or not using Spazer, but I guess everybody is.
Not using plasma.
Not using plasma, right? sorry.
Elm's using the regular missiles. I like it. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they should be faster than charge shots.
Yeah, in theory, missile spam should be a tiny bit faster than charge shots. And you've got so many to spare, obviously, in this category, so.
Right. So we've gotten past most of like the heavy RNG points at this point, I think. There's still some things that can change the lead, but from here on, it's mostly just, I'd say it's mostly movement and execution. That's what brings you through the end part of the game here.
Yeah, interestingly, like the only real RNG left is going to be, in this case, Torian supers, because of how like low they all are. One person getting like the gold minus supers from Torian could be like the difference essentially if another person gets like shafted, so to speak.
Yeah.
At these super counts, because the reason we talk about supers so much is because for Torian, you need like as many as you can get, even in this category, with how it's routed, for killing the Metroids quickly, and also dispatching of Mother Brain's first phase quickly. So like the less you have, or the more limited you are of supers throughout Torian, the more you're going to be just losing time that you just can't really do anything about.
Yeah, the more supers they have here, the better. Especially with just Phaser, it's still, I mean, it's going to be significantly faster on Mother Brain, even if they have more supers, but you definitely want enough to at least comfortably take care of Mother Brain's glass shell and the Metroid. Like O was saying. Nice spring ball strat from Sloaters.
Yeah, you get to see Spring Ball shine a bit through these areas with a lot of these one-tile tunnels. And also Screw Attack, of course.
Yeah, some of the hardest strats in the game involve Spring Ball. Some of the flashiest and hardest strats.
Yeah, there's a few strats that involve like springing on the exact frame you leave a tunnel that has a ceiling, so that you can spring out of the tunnel up to a certain area, where like if you were a frame early or a frame late, you would just either not get the spring, or you would hit the ceiling of the tunnel and also not get the spring. So it looks like whereas we had Elminsterrta mostly next to each other for this race, we now got Sephi and Becky pretty much neck and neck at their portion of the race. Sloaters commanding lead, though.
Yeah, still pretty commanding lead here. This is definitely Sloaters' race to lose at this point. All that's left right now is after some of these races clean up the rest of Norfair, like Sloaters, they'll be going back up Red Tower, get an X-ray, and then we'll be going to Retro Brinstar. So the first area of the game we went to, where we got the first missile, but we're going to be collecting everything there. And we'll be headed up towards Mother Brain after that, towards Turian. So we're coming up on the last legs of the run here, especially the item collection parts of it. This is the last big item collection area going up Retro Brinstar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the item collection from like Ridley to G4 might be like the most technical, or like potentially the most technical out of any areas.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it just feels that way because if you know you're
If you go for all the hardest strats, it's super technical.
Yeah. Could just feel that way because it's like near the very end of the run and before Torian and all that.
Oh, I think it's just you have all the items at that point, so you have all these sort of like movement techs at your disposal. And so as a result of that, there's like these crazy strats you can do, spring ball and space jump all strung together. And yeah. I mean, you can talk about doing speed keep, going out X-ray or something. You know, there's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do in this.
Yeah.
I'm serious, you can go for that.
No, I'm laughing because you're right. I'm laughing.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, so there's a crazy strat coming to X-ray where you can unmorph frame perfectly after damaging yourselves in the spikes as a ball, and you're for some reason, like whatever counter or value it is that keeps how fast you're moving, like how fast your running speed is, it doesn't get reset. And so you start off at the same run speed and you gain more run speed, so you're just like flying from left to right through the room if you can get it. But it's so hard to get.
Yeah, for some reason, if you unmorph on the frame, you take damage. It conserves all your prior speed, and that's why it's referred to as speed keep. Keep all that speed.
Becky have a problem shooting the door there. This is a very hard area to play very well.
Yeah.
I'm always curious to see people how they approach this area. There's a lot of cool strats you can do.
So a neat thing Sloaters just did there is, so when you charge a Shine Spark, like the elevator there pauses its timer. Like normally a Shine Spark has a 3-second or 180 frame timer that like it counts down from until it expires, but using an elevator pauses it, so you can carry the Shine Spark charge all the way up the elevator and then use it in the pits room.
That troll Shine Spark from Sloaters, you see that? Oh wow, nice. Oh, he like charging the spark, touched one of the blobs, and then accidentally sparked to the left.
Yeah. My stream was a little delayed. So yeah, we'll see if our racers, especially Sephi in particular, have any issues with this super count at this point in the run. It's very low, and that might be an understatement.
Yeah, Sephi and Helm, I'd say that's an understatement. Yeah, I mean, you want more than this if you have plasma, you know? Much less if you use plasma. But they'll be all right, though. It's just going to slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Or a decent bit, yeah. Although Helm does have a low amount of regular missiles.
Yeah.
He'll get plenty from the Metroids, but
yeah.
If he didn't get any Metroid drops, he would not have it. Well, I guess he'd barely have enough. 31-2 with that. Yeah, that would the show, wouldn't it? But you couldn't open the doors, so you wouldn't be able to get there.
Well, he's getting 20 more, and he opened the door to G4.
Yeah. No, he'll be fine. He'll get plenty of drops to the Metroids, I'm saying.
Yeah. We're just, for those just curious, we're just talking about it from a standpoint of time. There's not really anything, like they can't, like, lose the run or get locked out of progressing further from their ammo. Realistically, even with this low ammo, it's just a matter of like the lower amount of supers you have, the more time you're going to lose in Torian.
Yeah, you can get stuck at Motherbrain's first phase if you clip through the Zebetite and don't have enough ammo to defeat to blow apart the glass shell. But these, you know, with this many missiles, max, like, you know, the missile capacity they have, they're going to get so many drops from the Metroids that's not really not a realistic outcome. They'd have to get some really stupefying RNG to not have the ammo at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, they could reload if somehow that happened.
So Sloater's heading down now in the first Metroid room. Just want to point out something you might see some of our racers do is pause as they go down to take off screw attack, because it makes the Zev skip later much less complicated. He may still do that. He may have just like decided not to pause there for some reason. He may still do that, but yeah, we may see like our racers pause for that reason. Haven't been in trouble with this last Metroid. Okay. See, his ammo count is pretty good, all things considered.
So Sloaters is probably going to win this race. I'm going to be a bad commentator. I'm not going to be one of those commentators. Well, I could come back. Something could happen.
You never know. It's never over until it's over. But yeah, pretty much the only things that could lose Sloaters the race at this point would be soft locking the Metroid's position during stand-up, assuming he does go for stand-up, which he might not, because since they're opting not to use plasma, stand-up does have less benefit.
Yeah. I mean, you could accidentally die to Mother Brain, but that's not going to happen unless you're trying to stand-up, boys. Yeah, pretty much stand-up's the only thing that can ruin Sloater's lead at this point. I don't think stand-up saves any time with this beam configuration, does it?
Well, I mean, assuming he's not doing it, he's not losing time from setting it up or anything, then it would save the damage you could potentially do would save about 5, and then if you know how to, then you can save a few more seconds by like putting
lining up the Metroid.
Yeah, lining up the Metroid in a better position. You can also like influence the cutscene speed. Like, I don't know if you've seen like the Rainbow cutscene comparison vid, but like if you're like aware of how to do those things, then you can save a bit more time than just the damage, you know.
It was like a comparison of TASs, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, like CPA it all saves like over 5 seconds, which is
just on the cutscene.
Yeah, just on the cutscene compared to a bad cutscene in any percent, you know.
Right, just manipulating Mother Brain, basically. The movement of Mother Brain. Only that.
Yeah, just that part. Alright, so without plasma, this fight takes 60 charge shots instead of 20. So whereas this fight would pretty much be over as soon as it starts with plasma, they actually kind of have to do some stuff. I mean, they have so much energy that they're not really in fear of anything anyway. It's just more charge shots for them to flub, you know, but that's about it.
I have a donation.
Okay.
From Rumblemans.
Rumblemans.
$100, who says, great event. Thanks, runners and commentators and organizers.
Hey, thanks, Rumble.
Yeah, that's super generous of you. Thanks.
So Becky's going for a pretty risky play here. I didn't realize they had so little energy in their reserve tanks when they went into this room, but the fastest thing to do here, which they're going to be doing right now, if you get grabbed by the Metroid in this category, assuming you have the ammo for it, is to Crystal Flash back that energy instead of using the refill station like you would normally see people do.
It's considerably faster.
Yeah, it's like, I forget.
Of course, it's not as fast as skipping the Metroid, but otherwise it's considerably faster.
Right. It's like it depends. I forget how exactly the math work out. It mostly depends on like how many supers you have, but
Right.
it saves like around 8 seconds to crystal flash instead of taking that recharge station if you can do it. In the event you miss the skip, of course.
Is Becky the only one that went for that?
I think so. The rest of them look like they either got the skip or
The recharge.
yeah.
Hey, they're all in the same room. This room is probably the longest room in the game, isn't it? I'd say. I don't think there'd be anything that could even be close.
I mean, even when you have plasma, you're in this room for about 4 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
So Elm tried to do a shine spark charge there. Like, there's just enough distance between the two rooms before the Zebutite that you can charge a shine spark and spark through the Zebutite from below. But it's basically like it's similarly tight to like that Meridia, that shine spark at the beginning of Meridia for that missile pack that we were talking about earlier.
So I'm gonna pop in here for a second just to let everyone know. So Sloaters, as you can see, has killed Mother Brain 3, and that is the cutoff for donations to kill or save the animals.
So we're saving them? Do they know?
Yeah, they know we're saving them.
Okay, cool.
Yep, $920 to $455. That is more than doubles. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Sloater's got a blue bomber. It's one of the cooler strats. You do a mock ball, and then you spring ball up with blue, and you unmorph to keep your blue, and you break the shine spark blocks on the way up. It's kind of a minor time save, but it's super swag. If you want to be super swag, that's one of the ways to do it 100%.
All about the swag.
Yeah, you gotta have the swag
strats.
going.
Well, it's swag that saves time.
Swag that saves time's the best swag. I disagree with the people that say the swags that don't save time is the best swag. Swag that saves the best swag.
I lost my X2 race, but I definitely got that double neon.
There you go. That Sloater spark. Looks like Sloater's gonna be our first place finisher here. What are we doing?
Trying to get echoes. Valiant effort. Yes,
I've never seen that. I've never seen that setup to get echoes. That's cool.
Yeah. Looks like he doesn't have a timer going on his feed, but I think like a low 125.
Yeah, low 125 for sure. Pretty good with Spazer.
Yeah.
I mean, Spazer slows you down a lot now.
Pretty good considering the circumstances.
That's like at least a minute time loss. Whereas Spazer probably a minute and a half.
You think I would imagine it's probably closer to 3 when you think of like
all the little rooms and stuff that are yeah.
Well, it's like Ridley and MB2 alone is at least a minute, or at least like 80 seconds.
Right.
And then you got stuff like some key hunter kills you can't do, or just some.
Becky, well schooled in save the animals. It's going to make that spark. Becky, one of the bigger animal saving fans of the community that I'm aware of.
Elm also got blue bomber.
Nice. I wonder why everybody's going out Alcatraz instead of the right side after the animals. I think that's faster. I don't know. That's a pretty tight race, though.
Yeah, they're definitely all back and forth.
Nobody died. I think that's a major victory if nobody dies. Into the Metroid, it's a major victory.
No comment.
Unless it's the animals.
True that.
I'm just kidding. All this love for the animals, and there's no love for Work Robot. There's no love for Mama Turtle. I just want some consistency here, you know?
Just love to die.
Just a little consistency is all I ask for. GG to our racers.
Yeah, nice job, everybody.
Yeah, well done, everybody. We are dangerously close to 7.5K,
Nice.
which is extremely exciting. I mean, we've already well surpassed our previous donation record. But yeah, I think we can still make it to 10,000 though, and I think that would be extremely hype.
What was the previous?
Previous was 6.6 or sorry 6.2K. 6220. It's a nice number. Before that it was 4,000 and 1202. So
Steady increase.
yeah, steadily increasing. Thanks for running and for commentating. This is great.
So yeah, I think we're gonna do some racer commentary to wrap this up here for a couple minutes.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. If y'all are willing to join in.
Any words of wisdom?
Yeah, Spazer sucks. I hate Spazer, and everyone should just know how bad it is. But
Agreed.
Nonetheless, so good game to Sloaters, honestly. Like, and Becky and Elm.
Did you
Everyone
get
should watch it.
the gauntlet wraparound? I didn't know how to do it with Spazer.
I got it first try, yeah. But I guessed. I honestly just guessed. I said, "Oh, wait." Sloaters said it's like a few steps in front of where you normally step. So I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And I shot
and gave up.
Yeah.
Oh, also to confirm, yeah, it was 100%. Thankfully, everyone got 100.
Also, how did everyone do GT?
I was trying to do statics, stupid, like shoot him with Ice Wave Spazer and then like farm orbs from above.
Yep, that's what I did. Did not work
But
out.
he wouldn't give me any because I had 90 missiles and he kept being pressing.
Yeah, I had to shoot all of them out.
I knew the correct decision was made about the beam choice when I'm looking at like the Discord channel and it's just nothing but them being angry about Spazer.
At first I thought you were just joking. Honestly, I really thought you were just joking. I was like, "Oh, okay, nice meme, whatever."
Really
And then
glad
I
that
got
we
to
all
Kraid. I was like, "Oh, they're for real. They're not lying about this."
I'm really glad that we all decided to do Spazer with you.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
wait, it was
actually
just
fun.
me?
It was all of us.
But it was just
everybody
yeah,
did.
me?
Poppy and Freya's donated just for you to do Spacer. Same.
Thank you so much. Yeah, all you good sportsmanship. That's Super Metroid community. Always there to hold your hand. Yeah, Overfiend and Zosti, thank you so much for
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a lot of
as well.
fun listening as we were running.
Yeah, for a while I thought it was. For a while, I think I thought Elm wasn't doing it, but then it took me to like Lower Norfolk to realize, oh, he is too. I don't know why, but yeah, I missed a few things, but still, good fun. Good fun.
Well, if anyone has any closing words, now would be the time to do it. Oh, actually, we do have some closing words. So we had a donation thing riding on this race. So it was, if Sloaters beat Sephi, then Sephi has to donate $50. But if Sephi beats Sloaters, then Sloaters donates $50 to whatever the winner chooses as the incentive. So, would you like to say what that is?
So wait, is the auto going through my stream?
I don't hear anything.
I just
now.
cut my stream and I didn't think about it.
Whoops.
What game are there? Is it Pokemon one, right? You said Diamond. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it for Diamond then. I love Pokemon.
Rad. Okay, we'll get that squared away.
GG. Sloaters, Becky, Elm, Zost, and Overfiend. Thank you.
GG, y'all.
GG.
Good showing.
GG on the race, y'all. And thanks, Overfiend and Zosti, for agreeing to do commentary. That's really cool of you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah, we like helping out when we're needed.